Oh, sorry about that. Caught me doing a little light reading there. Apologies. My name is Dale Dupree. What's up, everybody? For those of you that don't know me, my friends, they call me the Copier Warrior. That's because I spent 13 years and some change selling copy machines. Yes, that is correct. I survived 13 years of B2B sales in the copier world. How? Well, to my father's credit, it was all on him. The legacy of my father is something that cannot be denied when it comes to my success inside of my sales walk. He taught me compassion, empathy, how to treat people, how to better know myself, and how to articulate what it is that I wanted to do when it came down to impact and change for organizations, specifically when it came back to our products and services, which were boring copy machines. Yep. I know. Sounds crazy, right? But I did it. Had a lot of fun doing it, which brings me to the title of my SalesHacker Success Summit presentation, which is to break through mediocrity and change the game for long-term sales success. And so without further ado, let's jump into this thing. All right, let's jump into this thing. So again, the title for my SalesHacker Success Summit presentation is Breakthrough Mediocrity, Changing the Game for Long-Term Success. And so what we're going to talk about here is the real concept of what sales actually is for anybody in a B2B or a B2C role. Excuse me, B2B or B2C role. It's a tongue twister right there. The concept of that sales doesn't rest or rely on instant gratification. Okay, you can find plenty of it in sales if you want to, but it is just like it sounds, short-lived. It is not the long game of sales, and it is not how a successful career is built in the first place. So let's jump into this thing. How do we reach the status of legendary inside of the sales world, inside of our sales walk? So let's first talk about losing a deal. Just because you lose a deal doesn't mean it's over. And so why do we bring this up as the first bullet point here? Well, because everybody watching right now has lost a sale. Unless you just got started and you haven't been in a sales cycle yet. You have lost a sale inside of your sales walk. And it is common. And you know that it is common because it happens to every salesperson, no matter what industry, what vertical, B2B, B2C, selling your mom on something, selling your grandma on something, selling your neighbor on something. Everybody loses a deal that walks the sales walk. And so the concept here, though, is that when you lose a sale, it doesn't mean that it's over by any means. So this is the concept of rising above the mediocre inside of sales. Mediocre sales are done at any cost to include the customer satisfaction and your reputation to begin with. And so if we took a different approach, instead of worrying so much about our quota, the number that we desire to hit for the month, the commission check that we're chasing after, and if we sat back and we thought more about the customer satisfaction and our reputation, we would be a little bit more inclined to let some deals go to begin with. Also, while understanding that just because we lost it this time around doesn't mean it's over. How do we build on that rapport? How do we create more credibility inside of our sales walk? Well, these are the concepts. But first, we have to talk about the problems. And one of the things is that today's consumers are done with the games. They want authenticity, credibility, and service before self as a mindset from the person that is helping them with their products and services that they've elected for them to. So the concept here with this bullet point is that let's just be honest. Sales has a bad reputation because of what? I heard a couple of y'all, because salespeople lie, right? This is something that is just prevalent in our industry. No matter who you are, you've dealt with it to some extent. In some cases, something that you've bought. In other cases, somebody that you work with. And maybe in some rare occasions as well, too, that we don't want to admit, we have lied. We have fibbed the truth just enough in order to get the deal, putting our reputation and the client's satisfaction at risk. These are things that we have to start to not only recognize, but overcome. We have to start wearing our authenticity on our sleeve, creating credibility, and focusing on serving our prospects before ourselves. Well, how do we accomplish this? Well, we change the game. And so let's talk a little bit more about, number one, how we create more credibility at the front end of the sale so that if we do have the opportunity to win it, our chances are higher. But at the same time, not necessarily chasing after every sale as if it's a closed deal, but allowing naturally throughout the process for our client and our prospect to get stoked about doing business with us? Do you want a sale or do you want a career? That's a good one. Somebody snapshot that one, put it on a little poster thing, put my signature below it, sell the heck out of it on eBay. So let's talk about the facts. The facts inside of sales. Time is the currency of sales. I'll fight anybody that wants to argue that with me. What do we do constantly when we call up a prospect that we're looking to gain the business of? We ask them for an appointment. That's it, an appointment. We ask them for an appointment. What is an appointment, ladies and gentlemen? An appointment is time. And it's not just somebody else's time, it's our time as well. It's time as a whole. So we have to look at sales from a different perspective, because you want to know what? Time is the most important thing that we can give to one another on this earth as human beings. And so because we're asking for someone to give us their time, we have to understand just how big the weight of that is. And we also have to understand what the exchange is for that time, and it is attention. We need our prospects' attention, their full and undivided attention, because that is how we build credibility and we cause them to listen enough so that they can hear the value and the impact that we'll provide for them. And sometimes that listening is through visuals as well too. That's why you see a bunch of pattern interruption marketing on the screen right now. These are tools in which the copier warrior, and there might be one hidden one down there from the leader of the sales rebellion, that the copier warrior used throughout his career in order to get people's attention, in order to help them to understand exactly what they'll be getting from giving their time to me. And so if we focus on these ideas and these concepts, we have a completely different perspective and we've changed the narrative. Because we're not just talking about time as it pertains to the appointment or as it pertains to the presentation. We're talking about time inside of sales as a whole. We're talking about a career. We're talking about the implications that time has on the next 20 years. We're talking about understanding that time is on your side and just how important time is to the success of your sales walk. Just because you lose the deal doesn't mean it's over. So let's talk about how interruption tools can be used both before the sale, but also after the sale for the long-term effect of how to build credibility over time with your prospect. The idea here is that after you lose a sale, what happens? Typically, you disappear until the lease on the product comes up again, or the service that they agreed to and the term behind it is up for renewal. But instead, what if you stayed in touch with the prospect? What if you used interruption tools in order to continue to build and gain credibility within the account? What if your prospect sat back and thought, wow, I get contacted by the guy that wants my business more than I do the guy that I've given my business to, or girl for that matter? What if that was the attitude of your prospects and your clients at that? The concept of also winning the deal doesn't mean that you get to walk away from that as well too. Continuing to be a presence inside of the account is extremely important, and not just relying on other people such as the service folks or the customer relation folks in order to continue to build that credibility. It's on you. Credibility is extremely important when it comes to the sales cycle and your long-term sales success. And so what are you doing to stay relevant to your prospects inside and outside of the sales cycle? Do you take this approach? Do you long to learn and ache to serve your prospects and clients? The concept behind this is very simply stated, using a lot of inherent traits that we have as human beings, such as aptitude or the experience that we learn along the way when it comes to sales and human nature. And then also the concept of servant leadership, something that, again, that we all have inherently inside of us and that we know is right. We just have to learn to tap into it sometimes. The concept, again, behind this is your reputation. How are you creating the best reputation possible within your client base and your prospect base? So I hope that you have enjoyed my session. Remember that sales is a long-term game and not short-term gratification by any stretch of the mind. Stay diligent in the way that you communicate with your prospects and clients alike. Make sure that just because you lost the deal, you're not walking away. Make sure that you're not doing whatever it takes in order to get that deal in the first place. Practice integrity inside of your sales walk. Use ethics from day to day in everything that you do. And so let's connect. Here's all the information about how to get in touch with me on my social channels or directly through email. And guess what? When you connect with me, all you need to do is put crumpled letter campaign inside of the message that you send me on one of the social channels or my email, and I'll be giving you one of my most popular interruption tools for free. That's right, no charge, because the people at SalesHacker made me do it. Just kidding. You know I love to help you guys. And so reach out to me, send me an email, hit me with a DM, let me know that you want the crumpled letter campaign, and I'll be happy to hook you up with it. And until then, make sure that you continue to lead your own sales rebellion.